Hello, I'm Superintendent of Schools Rick Dole. For those of you who did not attend the Lawrence Schools Foundation Follies last spring, Follies director Patrick Kelly and some of his co-conspirators decided to lampoon my video messages. They made me wear old high school band uniforms as part of the act. It was their attempt to make me spice things up.
May I have your attention, please? This is a mandatory video presentation, the State of the District 2012. We begin with the early history and culture of the school district. Once upon a time, long ago...
It's Janice Dunn, our clerk of the board.
I brought you a snack. Let's make sure that collar is down today. Oh boy, we have a shine.
When you do something like this, you have to be big like a lion. Try that with me. Big like a lion. Yeah.
Jazz hands.
Yeah, there you go.
Big.
Looking good, okay.
Good.
A happy and pleasant good morning to you, wonderful and dedicated faculty and staff.
Smile, buddy, come on. There you
Lawrence
go.
Public School. In order to respect your valuable time, I'm simply delighted.
Look like you're enjoying it.
I am enjoying it.
Okay.
I'm simply delighted to have this fantastic opportunity
Good.
to speak to all of you today.
You can watch the skit on YouTube, but don't feel like you have to rush right out and do that now. I honestly do struggle with how we deliver a consistent message to our entire school community. We enjoyed bringing everybody together like we did at the convocation at the Lead Center 3 years ago, but we realized that that takes you away from your school at a really important time. We rely on our school principals to share information with staff. I've used podcasts and videos to deliver these messages. I also make a point of spending as much time as I can in each of your schools throughout the school year. We'll continue to use a variety of ways to communicate with you about our goals. It is my honor to lead such a talented and dedicated group of educators and support staff. I was humbled 3 years ago when they hired me for this job, and it was fun for me to join the public school system here in Lawrence. I understand the challenges we face at this time, but I'm excited about the possibilities of what our students can accomplish if we all work together toward our goals. 3 years ago, I challenged staff to accept the feeling we get in the pit of our stomach when we encounter change, like the ancient mariners who sailed through uncharted parts of the world and declared, "Here be dragons." Change can be upsetting. Taking risk and leaving our comfort zone is a good thing, though. We experienced some of that discomfort last year as we redesigned our middle schools and our high schools, worked through budget cuts, revamped curriculum and assessments, and implemented a new data warehouse. We shared some growing pains when we experienced and explored our STEM initiatives, struggled with graduation rates, worked to close achievement gaps, developed new teacher evaluation process, implemented equity teams in each of our schools, and created a long-range capital outlay plan. We left our comfort zone when we attempted to engage multiple perspectives by expanding our advisory groups, including a finance advisory council that we started, and enhancing regular communication between the administration and the LEA leadership. The district has accomplished a lot because of your efforts every day in the hundreds of classrooms across our school system. Thank you for that. The board will soon be setting goals for the upcoming school year. I brought this goal-setting process to the district 3 years ago, and I'm proud to say that based on your feedback, it seems to be working. A group of teachers and staff came together at the end of May to provide feedback from last year's goals and to make recommendations for future goals. Administrators participated in a similar evaluation process this summer. You can review the board goals and read more about action steps and timelines and progress on the district website. Feedback from these groups has affirmed our commitment to excellence, equity, and engagement, the 3 E's. They will continue to provide the framework for our district goals in order to focus our work. If you think about it, excellence, equity, and engagement really do serve as a foundation for everything we do. Excellence is all about helping raise the achievement level of all students. Equity is our charge to close the achievement gaps that are well documented in our district. I hope you share my disgust in our ability to predict the achievement level of kids based on skin color, income level, and special education status. We have to do better. Engagement is what we do every day. We engage each other as we work in our teams. We engage our students in their learning. We engage parents in their children's education. And we engage the Board of Education and make decisions that enable us to be supported and succeed. So, what are some potential goals under each of these areas of excellence, equity, and engagement? Under excellence, we have to talk about the upcoming bond issue. Some of you may know that that's going to be a major part of what we do this year. We have neglected our East and Central Lawrence elementary schools for quite a while because, frankly, we haven't been able to decide what to do with those schools. Some people thought we should have closed them or consolidate. That decision has been made. The schools are going to stay open, so now we need to fix them. As part of that bond issue also, we'll be taking a look at our high schools because our ninth graders moving into our schools created some pinch points in those schools, and so our architects will help us investigate what we can do about those facilities. We're going to look at technology enhancements. Bond issues are great times for us to take a look at some of the major expenditures that we need to make, particularly in the area of hardware. We'll also take a look at whether we want to expand some of our high school programs that deal with common programs between the two high schools. Right now at the Holcomb campus, we have a Communities Connections program, and this year starting a culinary arts program. There may be other programs that would be of benefit to our students that we could do at that location, so both high schools can take advantage of that. We are really excited about the Common Core standards change, and that really could fall under excellence or equity. But we are excited because it is going to allow teachers to teach what you in your hearts know what is best for kids. And that is critical thinking, problem solving, project-based learning, all those things, quite honestly, that we've had to give up when we went to measuring student achievement with multiple choice tests. We're also very excited about the new teacher evaluation process that I mentioned earlier. I do need to state under the excellence category, however, that with the waiver that we got on No Child Left Behind, that doesn't mean that accountability goes away. Honestly, it just means that we're accountable to better standards, better tests, and they will allow us to use other methods to ascertain whether kids have learned. So we're excited about it, but it doesn't take away from the accountability that we must have for kids. Under the equity picture, teachers in May told us that they needed to see a big picture of what we were really after from an equity standpoint. We work, as many of you know, with Pacific Educational Group, and they have outlined really a roadmap for us to follow. The first several years we dealt with developing leadership at the district and school level and at the Board of Education level. And so we have a district equity leadership team that meets on a regular basis. Last year and part of the year before that, we actually developed equity teams. So every one of our schools now has an equity team that's focusing on those issues that are getting in the way of kids learning. From there, we will go to care teams. Half of our schools, starting second semester, will be trained in actually how to take action research to the classroom level so that we help all students learn, but particularly our students of color. Honestly, many of you as teachers have been asking for this piece, and it comes. It comes this year. We will start to involve our staff of color in more of our discussions, ultimately moving toward what are called PASS teams, which is how do we engage our parents in this process. And last on the roadmap, although Lawrence has a bit of a head start on this one, is the student group. How do we involve our students of color? The Can We Talk program at both high schools has really jump-started some of that, so we look forward to that happening. We are committed to our equity work. Even though Kim Bodensteiner left our district, Angelique Kobler and Adam Holden will take over that responsibility for us. And quite honestly, we're not going to skip a beat. This is too important work to be done for us to lose any momentum with our equity work. Our upcoming bond issue actually has many equity components to it as well. If you think about the difference of our physical facilities from some of our elementary schools, quite honestly, it's astonishing that we can have schools that are not ADA accessible with minimum size libraries in some areas of our school district. We can do better than that. We are implementing AVID programs in our high schools this year, which is a direct attempt to meet the needs of maybe some non-traditional students who have not seen themselves as college students. And all of our work around MTSS with our interventions is really about equity. How do we meet the needs of all of our kids? The engagement goal is exciting because we will continue to do Beyond Diversity workshops for staff. We want to include more of you and engage you more in that process, as well as members of the community. Our continued work with United Way is very exciting. If you haven't followed that one, United Way has really focused their programs on meeting the educational needs of students. And so we look forward to working even more closely with United Way. Also under the engagement category, we will launch a district master events calendar and Facebook page to enhance community engagement. Sounds simple, but really up to this point we have not had one place where people can go and say, what's going on in all of our schools? So, how do we keep making progress towards our excellence, equity, and engagement goals? First, we must recognize that it's people who make the difference. Next to our students, you are the most important part of our school system. Second, we must continue to develop and implement systems that help you do your jobs and educate kids. These systems must be team-based, they must use data to inform our decisions, and they must be flexible to meet the ever-changing needs of our students. In fact, with the help of KU Credit Union, we're going to start a Team Staff Award. In the past, we've given excellence awards for individual teachers, and even though we talk about teamwork, we haven't honored those teams. And so start thinking now about some highly effective staff teams that are out there, and we'll be asking for your nominations come second semester. We are all collectively responsible for all of our students. This means I must keep our school board focused on the goals and provide the resources you need to educate all students. I ask for your help in developing these systems like our equity teams, our intervention teams, our special education teams that help us reach all students. I welcome the changes that the Common Core standards and the No Child Left Behind waiver will bring. Make no mistake, they do not diminish accountability. They go hand in hand with our goals. I'm looking forward to the new school year and working with you to further our commitment to excellence, equity, and engagement.